Hey friend, welcome to Ask Dr. Betters. Bailey wants to know if I would do a video on the 7 deadly sins. I did a whole sermon series on the 7 deadly sins. In fact, all of my sermon series you can find on our app called Help and Hope. There you will find many broadcasts, many series that I've done, and one of them is on the 7 deadly sins. I took a long time to preach that series because it's so beautiful the way God has outlined it. I'm going to read it to you from Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 and following. Here are the 6 things that the Lord hates. 7 are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, or pride, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. The thing I want to point out to you about these 7 deadly sins is the interconnectedness between them. In fact, whenever you see a series of statements, one following the other in Scripture, it's usually because God is trying to show how one leads to the other, which leads to the other, which leads to the other. Such is the case here in Proverbs 6. It all begins with pride, which some versions call haughty eyes. We look upon something with pride in our heart, whether it's power or money or injuring somebody's reputation, all of that. Haughty lies, a proud look, which leads to a lying tongue. Now, when you hear my sermon series, you'll see how the one leads to the other. And the progression goes all the way down to one who sows discord among the brothers. He's not content with being out of order in God's church. He wants everybody else to be out of order in God's church. So he sows discord among the brothers. He tells lies, false witness who speaks lies, feet that are swift in running to mischief. He's always looking for trouble. He's running everywhere, looking for trouble. Study those 7 sins, and you will see they really are one sin. They really are the fruit of one particular sin, and it's the first one. A proud look, a haughty eyes. Pride is the root of all evil. Pride is the root of the love of money. Pride is the root of adultery. Pride is at the root of every sin. And what he's trying to show us here is how it flows out and bears fruit when we start with pride. Scripture tells us to humble ourselves in the sight of God, and he will exalt us in due time. Pride is the exact opposite of humility, and humility is the key to greatness. Humility is the conduit of God's grace. Without humility, we cannot and will not experience God's grace. Without humility, we will always be slaves to the haughty eyes. So I would encourage you to study the progression of the 7 deadly sins. And if you really want to go deep into it, you might want to get my series called The 7 Deadly Sins, and where we take each one of these and analyze them according to the Scriptures. I hope this helps.
Hi, my name is Melissa Weisenfels, Executive Director here at MARKINC Ministries. Thank you so very much for your continued support of this video series. Ask Dr. Betters is not meant to be a substitute for professional counseling, but instead is designed to extract biblical principles around the questions being asked. We encourage you to seek professional counseling if needed.